Um, Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host Tracy.
Hey y'all.
I almost forgot where I was for a second, or what I was supposed to be doing. How you doing?
I'm good. I actually can't complain. I think I did catch a little cold though. It's either a cold or allergies,
Could be that too.
but
It's
I'm
that time of the
powering
year.
through.
I want to go outside in a little bit because it's Friday. We're taking this on Friday, and what is like 62 degrees outside right
Man,
now?
it's freaking beautiful
It
outside.
is. I haven't gone out. Ugh. I gotta go out in a little
I'm gonna
bit.
get out there. I will do that.
So it has been a great week. I mean, well, we did have that tariff thing. I know people are concerned about their 401ks
Yeah.
and just the stock market plunging. And, he said he was going to do this. So people, I don't know what you needed to do to get prepared, but mentally, I'm prepared. Mentally, I'm prepared.
Mentally I'm prepared and I don't put all my eggs in one basket as they say. So
Mhm.
and maybe because I'm a black woman, I'm not depending on my 401k to retire off of. Like it's there. I'm happy that I have it. I'm not relying on social security. I have my other resources for how
Mhm.
I'm going to take care of myself in my old age. And again, not putting all my eggs in one basket. And not to mention, by the time I retire in 15 years, hopefully, knock on wood, I get to retire within 15 years. Hopefully, we've rebounded financially and economically wise and just in general. And I don't have to worry about that too much. But it's
The
something that we're
only
going
thing I am concerned about, and it's not even, I wrote a paper, I think I was like in the ninth or 10th grade, about the fall of the Roman Empire.
to.
And don't remember everything about the falling of the Roman Empire. Don't remember a lot about what I said about that paper. But one of the things that has stuck out, and I think everybody has said it plenty of times, every great nation falls,
Yeah,
period. And it's just our turn. And it, we have been trending towards that for a very long time. With you listen to people as far as education is concerned, money is concerned, and then just how we have let in this person who said this is what he was going to do, which is it's just our turn. It's just our turn.
it is. And you know what? Thank you, Cory Booker, for your filibuster last week to
Mm-hmm.
say all the things, many of the things that we are all feeling, the anxieties, bringing that all surface level. I am familiar with the filibuster from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. We watched that, I think,
Mm-hmm.
in seventh or eighth grade, and we actually took a trip to Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's just, like you said, it's a kind of a reality check. It's a level set, and you know what? We need this so that we can get to the next thing. So we're going to have to go through this uncomfortable, difficult, strugglish time. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that, we also have to understand that there is still life is still good in so many ways. We still have so many freedoms in so many ways. Now it's about securing those freedoms and making sure
Mm-hmm.
that we're not completely stripped of them. So,
So, and speaking of that, before, because we have our little letter that
yes,
I was
that we've
given.
been
Hopefully
teasing y'all with for like 2 weeks.
I know. And I'm like, it's I don't know, it's family letter. But anyway, there's a march tomorrow. It's actually all across the nation, and it is against Trump and Elon Musk and I think it starts at Hope High School and they march down to Burnside. I will not be attending because I feel like those people, y'all got it. Y'all got it. Y'all need to be out in the streets. Y'all need to be doing your thing. You need to be protesting. And when I say you people, do your thing.
And here's
Do
the
your
thing.
thing.
They got y'all on camera keying these Teslas,
I
okay?
saw
And
that.
if here's my thing, if you're going to key a Tesla, I don't encourage any type of vandalism.
Hmm.
However, if you're gonna key the motherfucker, okay? I need you to go front to back like a woman scorned. That's how I need you to be. Not a little and now you're
That's what it
going
was.
it. The video I saw, the
Hmm.
man, he looked around and then he just like did a little. I can't even like that scratch, alleged scratch. He didn't. You need to go front to back. You need to write a message. You need to act like your man was cheating on you or your woman was cheating on you, and that's the enemy's card. That's how you. If you gonna key it, key it. All right.
Especially if you're gonna
If you
get
gonna go to
arrested
jail,
for vandalism, you
if you
must
gonna
make it worth your while.
right, if you're gonna go to jail, make it like I said, make it worth your while. Exactly. Make them have to get a whole new panel on that side.
The fact that they have made um, attacking a Tesla dealership an act of terrorism
Mm-hmm.
just shows that's why America just has to fall, and I'm not rooting for it to fall. I'm just saying when you have this level of stupid people, then there's nowhere else but to go but down. You can't go up. You can't go up with these stupid people. You can't. So anyway, and welcome those terrorists. They're coming in strong, unfortunately. Okay, so to our first letter.
Yes, let's go. I'm ready
Okay,
for this. I'm excited.
so I was gonna. I'm stupid me. I'm about ready to out the person.
Are we using a fake name?
No, I'm not
Okay.
gonna use a name because she, she.
They?
They didn't say. They didn't say a name. So I'm just gonna read it from what I've got, and it's not even that long. So
Okay.
she said she never had a relationship. I'm just going to read it like she wrote it to me, okay? Never had a relationship with my dad, and I'm 47. He's been sick for a long time, very recently, and has gotten in contact with me, and he moved to Florida. He calls out of the blue to ask me to visit. He says he has always loved me and wanted to have a relationship. Again, I am 47 years old. And I admit it was nice to hear and to kind of talk to him over the last couple of months, but I'm really kind of over it. I don't need affirmation from him. My husband said I should go to Florida, build on. He thinks I have unresolved issues because I'm firm about needing his attention anymore. I guess the father's attention anymore. 20 years ago and throughout my childhood, I was a basket case trying to get him to love me. Chose emotionally unavailable men till I met my husband. And I feel like I've done the work, but it's a wrong time to put that part of my life. Is it wrong for me to put that part of my life to the back corner? I don't want a relationship. So her
Mm.
husband is pressing her to have one because he feels she has unresolved issues. She's saying she doesn't have any, and she's just kind of over him. Even though it sounds like she's okay with talking to him now, but
So I have a lot of questions.
I might not have a lot of answers because it's very short.
No, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
Not so here's my thing. There's
Mhm.
a lot that we don't know.
Mhm.
So I'll start with saying that there's a lot we don't know. We don't know what the parents' relationship was and what
Mhm.
caused the estrangement.
Mhm.
And then
Before I say anything, should it matter?
yes,
Why?
it matters because let's say at the beginning of this child's life, dad was trying to be involved and
Mhm.
and there was a block of some kind.
Mhm.
Then It's possible that that's what was happening, and then he just kind of, because I feel like men, they try a couple times. Shout out to my men, I love y'all, but sometimes when y'all hit that obstacle, you just put a wall up, and that's it, and you just move on
Mm-hmm.
completely. Do you know what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I understand the husband saying to her, let's just take all that out of context. I don't know what happened. The fact that your husband, who I'm assuming you respect and love, is
Mm-hmm.
telling you you have unresolved issues,
Mm-hmm.
that's the main thing I'm getting out of this letter. That does not mean you need to hop the next thing smoking to Florida. What that means is you need to speak to a professional.
She said she did speak to a professional. That's why she says she has done the work. But
Mm,
she did say,
she said
so,
that in the letter,
hmm,
because done the work can mean different things to me than it means to you.
that's true. I took it, yeah. So I can't say 100%. I'm kind of with her.
I
Um,
think she should do
okay,
what she feels is the
I
right
think so.
thing for her, because
Hmm.
it feels to me like this man, the father, the bio father, wants to get this burden off of him. And
That's
it's about
that's
him,
exactly where
not
I was
about her.
going. Hmm.
And, you know, sadly, a lot of people come to this realization they're on their deathbed or whatever, and now they
Hmm.
want to do right. You've been in these streets all these years not being a parent, and
Hmm.
to me, there are very little excuses for not fulfilling your parental duties. You
Hmm.
should do every and anything you can, even if there are obstacles.
Hmm.
Go to, I don't like getting courts involved, but if you got to get the court involved, get the court involved. If you have to get other family involved, get family involved.
Hmm.
There's no reason, not to fulfill your parental duties unless you have a full on restraining order and you're not allowed within, a certain amount of feet or whatever of these
Hmm.
people. And that's a whole other scenario. But I think if she's not feeling it, don't go see the father, but do go fulfill the work. So it sounds like
Hmm.
you may have started the work, and that could mean
Hmm.
like I've let go. You think you've let go, whatever your feelings are, but clearly the work still needs to be completed, because if your husband's saying, no, ma'am, we
Yeah.
still got issues,
Hmm.
that requires maybe some additional work on your part.
Or he could just want her to go away for a week.
You think so?
Joking. No. Oh, I shouldn't have even said that. That wasn't funny.
I hadn't thought about that, but I think one thing is that your partner will identify your flaws, and I don't say
Uh-huh.
flaws in a bad way, but your partner can see things in you that you can't see in yourself, and vice versa.
Yeah,
There are things that they'll see, and maybe the way you handle things, that can be directly applied to your relationship with your parents.
100%. Now, the reason why I said I am more on her side than anything is she kind of ends it with what, she wanting that part of
Mhm.
her story to be over again. And when she re-emphasized, she's 47 years old.
Mhm.
And she was happy that he did make that move, but I think that she feels that that's enough for her because, I feel like a part of her doesn't want to make any more connection because she doesn't want that disappointment again. She was
Right.
disappointed all through childhood, disappointed all through her early 20s and 30s, and she kind of let that go. And for him to come back again after he's sick, and I don't know how sick he was, but it must have been serious. And then he decided, okay, well, I need to move to Florida for my health. So then he makes that decision and connects to her. Oh, I want to have this relationship. It's selfish. It's selfishness again. that you're dealing from, you're dealing with another man that's showing these selfish inclinations that, it's about him. Like, just like you just said, it's more about him than it actually is about her. And you can't tell people you love them. You have to show them that you do.
Right.
So he's saying all the nice words to her or whatever, but she's not feeling it because they're just words, because she's probably lived that her entire life. She's 47 and
Right.
you're just getting the message. I don't know how old he is, but you're just getting the message. I feel like what you said is 100%. She should definitely maybe listen to her husband's side and say, okay, maybe there are some things I probably need to resolve, but that doesn't mean connecting back with him.
It doesn't. It doesn't. And it doesn't even mean cutting off ties with him.
No, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's my whole thing is like, now you're dragging me down to Florida. I got to take a week off of whatever my responsibilities are where I live. So it
Mhm.
doesn't matter whether she works, she's a stay at home, whatever. That's a week, or I'm guessing a week. It's some time that I have to
Mhm.
dedicate to going down there. And now I got to hear, you know, your woes and all of this. What about my woes over my
Mhm.
47 years, that like she said she struggled because my parents, I've never seen my parents in the same room together, to give you context.
Wow.
Never seen my two parents
In the
in the
same
same
room together.
room. No, I know my dad, of course. I know my father very well.
I know.
And my mother raised me along with my grandmother, but I've never seen because they broke up when I was so young that
Mhm.
I have no memories of my parents as a couple, let alone even in the same room together. So,
But you also, your father was he in America?
yeah,
Oh.
he's not now, but
Yeah, I know that. Yeah.
he was. So, and that's the thing. So I would go to, to my grandmother's house, my father's mother's house, and I would
Mhm.
see my dad there. And then once in a while, he would decide, I'm going to load up my baseball team of children and we're going to go to a movie together or something like that. But it wasn't, I'm like this woman, I did not get the traditional father
Right.
figure
Oh,
out of
okay.
my dad. And
Mhm.
so I, in my head, I didn't miss it at the time.
Mhm.
So in my recollection of it, because I had my such a strong, beautiful upbringing from my mother and my grandmother, like
Mhm.
these
Mhm.
two super like dynamic, strong women who just like did not put any barriers up for me, did not put any roadblocks up for me, never taught me that, I that I was of no worth or anything like that. I just always was just like, I'm cool without a dad. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
always felt that
But
way.
you always knew your dad, though. So it wasn't like you were cool without a dad, but because you did have one.
I did, but again, like I was saying, like school, play,
Oh,
graduation,
he
he was
wasn't
not,
showing up for
no,
those.
he wasn't present for those things.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I felt like, to me, it was like I was fine because the majority of kids growing up at in my cohort for school were in the same boat. It was rare to have your father with my friend group anyway, my
Mhm.
black friend group, I should say, because my
Mhm.
white friends definitely had both parents in the household.
Mhm.
In the
Mhm.
town that I grew, very few of my white friends were single parent households.
Mhm.
So I didn't have the struggle that she had, but what I think could possibly happen for this woman, what she has to be careful about is that because she went through a phase where she felt very pained about this
Mhm.
and she feels like she's overcome that,
Mhm.
I'm concerned about what will happen when her father passes away because he will eventually.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
naturally, if it occurs this way, he will die before her.
Mhm.
I'm concerned about what could be triggered if she doesn't resolve this correctly.
Mm.
Because some people are like, oh, it's not going to affect me when this parent passes away, yada, yada, yada. And it hits them like a ton of bricks. I've heard this happen to people before
Mhm. Mhm.
where they thought they were going to be so unbothered by the passing of a parent that was absent, and it triggers them in a way, they mourn in a way they did not expect. So I would encourage her to definitely talk to a therapist.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah.
Talk to a therapist about it.
Yeah, especially if her husband feels as there's something unresolved, like
And
you
I
say,
would dig deeper.
closer
What are the things? What are the things that her husband is saying
or
are
and seeing, yeah.
affecting her? Because it could be the way she parents, it could be the way she is in the relationship, it
Mhm.
could be the way she deals with conflict.
Yeah. And she did say that she had chosen what very emotionally unavailable men until her husband.
Hmm. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah. Yeah, that
So,
was
but that might have to do with self-worth. So that's one of those things that
mhm.
sometimes women or children in general, they set their value based on how their parents value them.
And then how their husband, because that's coming right after, because it's concerning
Right.
that she didn't her thought process didn't change until she met him. I'm not saying that,
Hmm.
she didn't do the work or what, because we don't know what
And
the
was that a
timeline
one-off?
is in there.
Like, was that a one-off? Did she just get
Mhm.
lucky? Because
Mhm.
your type up until then was the type of man that was not available to you. Did you just luck upon this man, or did you make a change within yourself that
Yourself,
caused
yeah.
you? You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So there's a lot to know. And I'm not judging if she
Mhm.
decides she does not want to go to Florida. Here's my thing. This is what here's what Tracy would do.
Okay.
First of all, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to get on a plane because I'm
Mhm.
like, okay, Florida, as problematic as it is, I would be at Universal. I would be at the
Mhm.
outlets. I'd be
Mhm.
trying to get some crab boil. I would make a whole vacation out of it.
Mhm.
And I'd spend a couple of hours just to see what he has to say.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
what you bring me down here for?
Mhm.
I would love it if the father pays for her to
I
come
think
down.
he said he was paying for her.
I would love, so okay, but just go in knowing that you may not get what you were looking for if you do
Mhm.
go. So it may be all about him. And this is a problem when you have a narcissistic parent. It might be
Mhm.
all about him. It's fine. Go to Florida, have a good time, girl. Turn up. Go to the beach. Go down the road, whatever their strip they got down there. I don't know what town in Florida it is. If there's anything
I
fun to
would say
do,
bring your husband and your kid,
yeah, bring the husband.
because I
Go.
wouldn't go for him. I probably wouldn't go. If it was just me and he was saying, "Oh, come in," I wouldn't go. Only, and I get everything that you're saying, but in my head, because I've seen it from my father, my uncles, I mean, just too many men in my family that were dealing with other women who were not, maybe made it easy for them to see their kids and they still managed to do it. I'm not giving you any excuses. I
Yeah.
don't I don't care. I don't care what you say. It's just like, people go through all kinds of things, and to drop off the radar and not be involved in your kids. I just
I feel like I see that
47, I'm
though.
not doing it.
I see that pattern. I'm not
Mhm.
saying all men, but I see sometimes a pattern with men where once they hit too many obstacles, they're like, you know what? I'm just going to act like this never happened. I'm just going to
Mhm.
move on and
Mhm.
act like just clean slate.
So,
You
and
know
I'm
what I
gonna
mean?
act like you never happened. Clean slate.
Yeah, clean slate.
That's how I'm
And
gonna act too.
right. But the fact that the woman is saying like she got past it, like really dig
And
deep.
she said she was happy that he reached out too. So it does seem like that was it was what did she say? The Blue asked me, he says, yes, I was in one time relationship. Oh, she just said, I admit that it was nice to hear him, I guess apologizing and saying that he loved her. It was nice to hear. So she obviously needs it.
Yeah.
She needs that connection or wants that connection. I think she's probably just saying, you know, no, because she
She doesn't
doesn't
want to get
want to
hurt.
be hurt again.
Yeah.
She knows the pattern of this man and she doesn't trust him, which
And
is
it took him
understandable.
till what, probably close to 70 years old. to come to this realization.
Yeah, she's 47. I love that she put it in there twice. I am 47 and here he comes now.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it. But yeah, that's a hard position to be in. But I'm going to let Tracy, you were excellent in your responses to that and taught me as well because my first instinct is to be like, no, but you did put some understanding behind it why it could be, and it is true. Some men do hit a brick wall if there are too many obstacles. That's a very valid point. If there are too many obstacles, they just say forget it, especially when it comes to relationships, because those same obstacles could be totally different. If it's like a job or a career or whatever, you'll persevere. But when it comes to relationships, from whatever demons that they might be dealing with. You need to take that into consideration. But at the same time, he needs to understand that that absence and maybe her not going forward is all on him.
Yeah, just think about like he wasn't there to walk her down the aisle, most likely. It doesn't
Hmm.
sound like he wasn't there for the major milestones. He probably doesn't have a good relationship with her and her husband as a couple. Like that
Hmm.
bond is not there. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And I also saw those kinds of slight changes in my father with age. So
Hmm.
he like we'd go over, I'd bring, my kids over to his house for a visit or something, and he'd be like, let me show you how to change the oil in the car. And I'm just like, okay, um, do you? Because this is
As you,
really about you. My kids did not ask for this, but
hmm,
it was also his way of showing me like I want to have some involvement with my grandchildren,
hmm,
you know,
hmm,
but it also would take a little tugging and pulling from my sisters usually, or,
hmm,
to say, let's do this gathering together. And then, we're going to have dad and blah, 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 blah. But a lot of times men, will throw their hands up
hmm,
and just say, but and it often takes the encouragement of some other woman, a new woman in their life, or a
hmm,
daughter, or somebody to come up and say, hey, why don't you try this way, for them to come back around usually.
hmm,
And if they have a strong male circle, that's
hmm,
always good too, but we don't know his background, and because of his age group, the
hmm,
conflict resolution was not really a big thing
hmm,
for men of his era. You know what I mean? It was kind of like put your head down, work, raise your family if you could, or
hmm,
whatever. But and a lot of these things are echoes from just black history of how our families were dismantled over the years, and how
hmm,
we were pulled apart this way and that way systematically and
hmm,
by design. But like you said, if you wanted to do it, you would have found a way, you would have made a way. Ain't no mountain high enough.
hmm.
But I
And,
just,
and let me tell you just a quick little story about my
yeah,
father and my grandfather. So my father's mother lived in New York. My grandfather, they got pregnant, they had a relationship or whatever, and she actually put my father up for adoption. And my grandfather didn't know. So he drove his little butt back to New York City, stayed there for 2 months, brought his son back here. Just saying, this is what these are 1950s.
and that's very unorthodox for that time.
Exactly. So that's why I say that's one of the hardcore reasons why I'm like, I don't want to hear it. Because
Yeah.
if that's what, like you said, if that's what you want, if you want that child, you want to be in that, you're going to find a way.
Yeah, I try to
It's not about your
empathize.
ego.
I try to empathize because I don't know his side.
Everybody's
Yeah,
situations
I
way
don't know his
important.
side. But I do feel for her, and I want her to have closure, whatever that looks like for her, whether that's going
Hmm.
to Florida, whether that's staying at home. I would like her to have closure, because you don't want to live life with too many regrets. That's the
Hmm.
biggest things is feeling like you didn't do enough. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Or feeling like you have an emptiness in you because of this relationship. I always felt like when I had children, that I
Hmm.
would do things the way I wanted them done. And remember when we went to Soul Ties a
Hmm.
couple of months ago,
Hmm.
and a couple of people said, what would you say to your younger self? And they said,
Oh yeah, that was a
this is
deep
what I would do differently for
one.
my younger self in
Hmm.
this, try to, if you think about, things that happen to you and you're growing up, what you want to avoid, what you like to prevent, how can
Hmm.
you do things differently and make it better for the next generation? I don't know if this person has children of their own or nieces and nephews or whatever. Be there for somebody in your life the way you
Hmm.
felt like he wasn't there for you.
Hmm. Agree.
That's
Agree.
doing the work to me and getting
Mhm.
closure, aside from any kind of, like, getting with the right therapist and working through all your stuff. But to me, that's how I work through my issues,
Mhm.
is like, I wish my parents had done XYZ. I'm going to do this for my kids and make sure that they understand. That's my way
Mhm.
of showing them,
But
that
that's
I
one of the
love
things I say to my kids all the time. It- You growing up, you're going to be like, oh, there are things that my parent didn't do. And you're going to make sure that you do it for your child. That's every generation. There are
them.
things I look at and I say to, oh, I didn't get that from my parents or whatever. And then, I try and give that to my children because being a parent is not a science at all.
And you're not going to cover all the bases. You're not going
Mhm.
to please all the
You
people
are
all the
not.
time.
Mm-mm. And you're learning, it's a learning curve every time. And each child you have is different. You are going to parent each child a little bit differently.
Hmm.
So it's not concise. So I understand it. But again, I have to confirm and agree with you again. I on the outside looking in, I should try and practice a little bit more empathy
I wonder if
for
this
or
man has other kids.
understanding.
She
Hmm?
didn't she didn't mention other siblings. I wonder if he has
No,
other
she
kids,
didn't. She didn't. Maybe she's the only child like me.
maybe. Which is even more reason, sir. Come on now.
But that could be she could be the only child in her household, but not his only child.
Right.
He probably has more. He probably does.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm wondering.
she
Um,
didn't mention that.
yeah, she
Yeah,
didn't
because
mention
she
his
didn't mention
home.
any siblings or anything like that. So
I
maybe
almost
she
feel like there aren't any, because I it almost feels like an important thing to mention if there were. But
Because then she would say he reached out to, my sister and myself, or my brother and me, or whatever. She
and she
didn't.
didn't
She
mention
just
if
said
he,
he
like,
just reached out to her.
she didn't mention if he was married or if he's living with someone. Because I don't know why I picture this man just with a carrying one of little oxygen tanks, and then he met this lady at bingo, and the lady's like, "You need to call your daughter." Whatever. I don't know. I just feel like somebody probably gave him the little push that he needed.
No, she did not mention that, and I didn't picture. What I pictured like the opposite,
Oh, really?
like him not being as sickly, but probably being a little worldly and not really attached to anyone, and
Then, sir,
realizing
if
at the
you're
end, like I need to make an attachment.
if you're straight like that, get your ass on the plane and come and see me. Get
Well,
you
he
a
was.
room.
Well, she said he just moved there, so obviously he was in the town that she was in.
Yeah, so maybe he's just like, come down to Florida. It's lit
Mhm.
down here. I don't know.
So very weird. Anyway,
It
that
is.
was very interesting. I
Yeah,
could.
that wasn't too bad. Thank you for that listener letter. I love to give advice, and I like to think about, because sometimes you need context, to really
Yeah.
give
Hmm.
proper advice. But um
That
I
was two polar and advices right there
yeah,
because we were on different sides, not different sides, but we were really at the far end of each spectrum because my view of thinking is different, but I do like how you are more patient with it. Whereas when I first read it, I was just like, fuck this dude. So I'm glad she wrote
a
in and
lot
it
of
was
it is
both of us, and she's
a
not like
lot
a
of
friend of
it.
mine.
Yeah, what's crazy is a lot of it is miscommunication. Like,
Hmm.
the fact that we even have a word for co-parenting in 2025 is huge, because co-parenting was not something that people talked about
Hmm.
in, back in the day, because it was almost like, if you ain't with me, we ain't together, then blah blah blah. You know what I mean? The fact that we could
Hmm.
have a healthy co-parenting relationship, you be the father, I'll be the mother, we are not in a romantic relationship anymore, but we're going to do the best for our child. Like that
Hmm.
is so epic. And I admire couples that co-parent and co-parent
Hmm.
efficiently.
Yeah,
I love that. Like that is such a beautiful thing to me because I think too many people stayed together for the wrong reasons
exactly.
during our era. And sometimes you have a baby with somebody that's not compatible with you. That's just the reality of it. And I always try to encourage my children, I'm like, please vet your future baby
Please
mamas
vet
and
that.
daddies.
Please vet.
Figure that out
In your
first.
throws, and you'd be like, ugh,
Figure
passionate
it out
about people.
before. I'm like,
Hmm.
all this good birth control we have out here right now, while it lasts, please utilize it. Plan. Do you know plan? Let true confession.
What?
If they had Plan B in my day, I might not have three children. I'm just being real.
I'm with you on that one because I always tell my kids, I think all of them were like, oops, what? Oops.
I'm just saying,
Love them to death.
Plan
Love them to
B.
death.
Like what? I had the Today Sponge.
Oh, I still love that one. That was my
Oh my
jam.
god, bomb. The
That
terrible
was my thing.
pill.
I don't even know why they discontinued that. I
I
understand
don't
that
know either.
people were saying it was just getting stuck. I'm like,
No, that's because you didn't take it out when you supposed to take it out nasty.
that's gross because they I mean it was an actual little sponge with
Oh
sperm
my
on
gosh,
it
that was the best birth control on
to me.
the planet.
And when they went out, it was crazy because as they were going out of stock or whatever, I went and bought up a whole bunch. And then Seinfeld did a whole episode on Elaine buying up all the
Oh
sponges
my god,
because
girl,
they
the
were
Today
discontinuing them.
Sponge was everything.
Yeah, I
Everything.
gotta look it up and see why they discontinue that because
But uh, Plan B? Oh my gosh. Y'all are so lucky. Y'all don't even know. Love my
yeah, they
children.
sell it what like in Costco now. They're all over.
Well,
You can even have.
CVS. Yeah,
Mhm.
you can get well, in the States you can still get it in.
Oh yeah, because I. Oh yeah, God damn it.
I'm telling you, y'all voted for the wrong nigga. I'm just
We
I
are the shithole country. Oh my God. Yeah, I forgot all about that. But
but
yeah,
yeah, it was like the pill, the Today Sponge, the IUD, what else? Like the Depo-Provera, which made everybody fat and
that's the
nobody.
shot in the arm, right?
That's the reeds that they will put in your arm.
Oh yeah, and that did make everybody big.
And nobody liked it for that reason. Like we
Mhm.
just wanted to be outside, okay? And yeah, we
And
don't.
baby free.
The fact that people are still having unplanned pregnancies is
In 2025?
mind blowing to me.
Well, you know what? It's gonna be even more mind blowing because those states that are trying to get rid of the birth control, they're gonna have a population boom, but they want it to be white babies. They want it to be white babies, but we'll see. I don't think that's going to be the population boom that they want to
I
see.
don't know what's gonna happen with
I
that.
don't think it's because I don't think it's going to work in their favor on that one. So we will see.
And
Anyway,
all of this trying to make you responsible for child support at conception. Okay, dudes, let's see
oh
if that works for you.
yeah, who was it? It was a woman that introduced that bill. I think it was in Georgia, and
That is insane.
immediately shot down though. Immediately shot down. But if you're going to say that that's where life begins, and run me my check, sir.
Yeah.
Run me my check.
Oh, I would have been pulling up with the ultrasound like,
Insane. Anyway, so that was our first letter, and I hope we do get
send
another
us
one.
more.
Send
Send
them
us
on.
more.
Yeah, that was interesting. Very
Yeah. And
interesting.
it's
So I,
not just
I do
family
wish her the
stuff.
best.
Yeah, me too. Me
Wish
too.
her the best. Do what your heart feels.
Yeah.
You
Do
know,
what's gonna make you feel at
sleep at
peace.
night. Yes, comfortably,
Mm-hmm.
not worrying about anybody. So
Exactly.
All right, what else is going on?
So many fun things coming up in Boston and Rhode Island. I'm always reposting on our Instagram stories, like different things, all good food, places to eat,
Mhm.
activities. But I do want to highlight very specifically, like some things that are coming up in April and May. So first of all, TEDx Roxbury tickets are on sale. They
Let me
are
get my
selling like
ticket.
hotcakes. Get your tickets because um we will sell out again.
Mhm.
Tickets went live on April 2nd, and
Okay, why don't you tell me so I can make sure I get my ticket?
we gonna talk after this. We're
Okay.
gonna talk after this.
Oh, don't play with me.
But
I definitely loved it. I enjoyed last year was the first time I went, and I'm still talking about it.
it's and I'm
Still
telling
talking
you,
about those
we got it.
speakers. I
We got
was
a
impressed. But go ahead.
we have a beautiful lineup and some new surprises to
Mhm.
our intermission and our interactive experiences. So
Okay.
we're growing, we're building. TEDx Roxbury, you can go online and purchase your tickets on Eventbrite. There will be links on our Facebook and our Instagram. So keep,
Mhm.
watching for that. That's the first thing. The next thing that I want to mention is um, on the 13th of April, which is Palm Sunday. So for those of you who, you did your glory hallelujahs and your other types of prayers in that morning, in the afternoon, you can go and enter the roll a blunt challenge over at the Hip Hop and R&B Trivia Day at Florian Hall. That's brought to you by Heat 98.1. Um,
Roll a blunt. What's it called again?
Roll a blunt challenge.
Okay. Okay.
I would lose. I've never
I would
rolled
lose
one.
too. I have never rolled anything,
I
so
shouldn't say I would lose. I don't know what I'm doing, but maybe if someone showed me I could win. I don't know. I then I
no,
wouldn't want.
there are professionals out here, girl.
Yeah,
If they show you one time, they are professionals out here. I've seen it. I've
I,
never done it.
I want to
Seen it.
see it and experience it. So I'm gonna have to go
Professionals.
through. And that's going to be at Florian Hall on Hallett Street in Dorchester from 3 to 7 p.m. Look on our socials for information about that. Again, it's the hip hop and R&B. So you can go and do trivia too. You don't have to roll a blunt. You don't have
Oh,
to be a weed smoker. Um, and then here in Rhode Island, because we love the earth and we want to honor the earth and keep the earth clean and healthy and happy. Earth Day is April 22nd, and on April 26th, there is a fam jam that is happening, and that's going to be a family day to clean up and a family bike ride. That's here in Rhode Island. I will give you the meetup spot. The meetup spot is going to be 1070 Broad Street, and the rain date is April 27th. So they got you covered. There'll be the Earth Day cleanup, and then
okay.
there'll be the family bike ride, and that's 11 to 3 on April 26th. And it's brought to you by PVD Streets and PVD Bike Jam. And the, oh,
Idea.
in May, I can't forget, in May, Boston While Black is having their annual summit. Tickets are on sale for the summit.
Hmm.
And that's going to be May 29th and May 30th. So again, get your tickets.
All right.
That's all
Those
I
are
got.
good. 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 I like.
What you got?
I really like the. So the cleanup day, is that like them cleaning a park or just? Or they didn't say.
It just says Earth Day cleanup. So the meetup is there. You can register, and it's sponsored by Providence Park. So maybe they'll go around to different ones.
Hmm. Hmm.
I'm not quite sure, but that
Okay.
information can be found on
I feel like
Providence
it's
Street.
like the parks, but it could, I wish it were the streets too. We had this conversation. It's a stupid conversation. You'd be driving in the car and just talk about dumb stuff. I What my daughter said to me, I can't believe people litter.
I agree. I hate littering. Like, I'm so opposed to littering.
It's appalling to see somebody driving by and throw out like a McDonald's bag or something. Like
So
you couldn't wait to get home and put that in your
I
trash
think some
can.
people get a high off of littering. Like, it makes them
Really?
feel bad and like nasty and like, you know, fuck the system. Just gonna. But this is where you have to live. This is you. I hate it so much, especially as a homeowner. When people litter in front of my house, yo, I be ready to throw hands. Do you understand
Mhm,
me?
mhm.
Leaving like a half a cup of Dunkins on my front ledge.
I
First
have
of
seen
all,
people do that.
yeah, don't
The
do that.
audacity.
Or like they'll throw things down in front of the tree in front of my house, and it's so disappointing. Like it's very,
Mhm.
very disappointing to me. And I always remember when I was, even from the time I was a little kid, I always felt like if you litter, it was against God. Like to me, because I'm like, God made this for us, and this is what you do
Mhm.
to it. Now, don't get me wrong, I will throw a liquid on the ground, or
Oh
like,
no, a liquid on the
you know
ground
what I mean?
all
Because I know it's
every
gonna
day.
rain. Or like,
I even food. I live across the street from it's a very vacant lot, but it's full with trees. It's owned by the city. I will throw like certain things over there because there's birds and squirrels over
like
there. I
bread,
know
yeah.
it. I'm not throwing on the street in front of somebody's house. I'm not throwing cups or whatever. But my coffee before I go in,
Like I'll pour it at the curb, you know what I mean? Like near the drain if I can, if I have to, you know what I mean? But I just, I
yeah, not right
really,
on the sidewalk. I wouldn't do that when people are walking, like throw
I
it right.
don't like littering. It's so nasty. But I think it's good that when people band together, and some people don't realize that depending on the corporation you work for, you may be able to request the day off on Earth Day if you're, saying that you're going to do a cleanup. Yeah, it could be part of your
Oh,
volunteering time off. So take your time off. If this event is not near you, find an event that's near you, or do your own. Get your little gloves, get your little stick or whatever that you want to go poke around and get some trash, because it just makes such a difference. And then the thing is that if your neighbors get involved, if the community gets involved, and everyone tries to keep everything clean, it's much nicer for you. It's just
yeah.
prettier.
And teach your kids not to litter. Let's start there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's funny because I think when we were in Japan, there were not many public waste baskets, but
Mhm,
it was the cleanest city. Tokyo was the cleanest city that I've ever probably been in, because
mhm,
people first of all, don't walk around stuffing their faces with food
mhm,
all day. So that's
mhm.
one thing. They're not just
That's
eating
fair.
a bunch of crap. But when they do, they either hold on to their trash or they wait until they find a barrel and dispose of things.
Mhm,
It's
mhm.
just common sense, really, if you think about it.
Well, my parents were in Qatar. They were saying the same thing. He's like, my father was like, you could like eat off the street. It was just pristine, and it was like not a bit of trash. And I don't understand why we just, I don't know. Like I said,
Because it's a shithole country that
it is, and we are gonna get our comeuppance very, very soon. We're living through it, but yeah, stop littering. Teach your children not to litter because it is the earth, and Rhode Island is too beautiful. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, where was I driving? And I let the GPS take me. I was just trying to go to CVS on Mineral Spring. I don't know why
Really?
huh?
Hear me?
The drive-through one,
Oh,
19.
okay.
So I was in Woonsocket because
Hmm.
my GYN is there. That's the only reason I ever go to Woonsocket. Shout out to
Hmm.
Woonsocket, but I don't go to your town like that unless I'm
Hmm.
going to my appointment. But I was coming from Woonsocket and I wanted to go to CVS. I thought it was just going to take me highway and then whatever. It took me over the river and through the woods. And when I tell you, it was beautiful. I drove over this stretch of road that crossed a lake. It wasn't really a bridge. It was just like a stretch of road that went through a lake or some kind of body of water.
Hmm.
Beautiful. The way the
Beautiful.
sun was glistening off of it and
Hmm.
the trees. I was just like, we are the ocean state and we do have a lot of water, but we have such beautiful foliage
Hmm.
and just sights in Rhode Island. When I go to Newport, I'm in awe every time I hit that bridge to go to
Hmm.
Newport at how beautiful the water is, and the sea and the sun. It's just like, why would you want to destroy that?
Yeah. With a Dunkin' Donuts cup. Stop playing with
Exactly.
me.
Nasty. And don't
Just
get me started on the dog poop. people who don't clean up after their dogs.
Girl,
So
first of
disgusting.
all, so that was one of the things I noticed when we were in London. Now, and we were in a very busy section of London, and a very residential area as well.
Hmm.
No dog poop. Saw
Yeah.
dogs, no dog poop. Downtown Providence, and I even noticed somebody walked their dog on my street, but not in front of my house, a couple of houses down. Their dog poop. Why didn't you pick it up? And we're supposed to be nice to these animals, and I get it. People love their dogs and they love it. Pick up their stuff. Pick up their stuff. Downtown is, and what happens downtown is it gets smudged on the street. This is why people don't want to wear shoes in the house. Don't wear shoes. It's disgusting.
Yeah, take
Walking
your
downtown
hot
is
bag of poop
gross.
with you.
If you're walking your dog for a reason, so they don't poop in your house. So make sure that you pick it up.
This is why I don't have a dog.
This is why. This is why. So I don't play. And I've had to scoop up dog poop. That is not fun.
Mm-mm.
Trying pretend is not fun, but it's your dog.
Yeah,
Your baby. Pick up their poop.
that part.
So,
Yeah, that's
not
a
anything.
this. No, what are
Hmm?
you gonna say?
Oh no, go ahead.
Now, I was saying there's so much going on. I feel like there's just been a boom of activities happening. Like it's poetry month. So our friend Craig, Amaziah the Great, and
Oh
our friend
yes.
Rudy and our friend Sarah Lopes, they're all over the city, like spreading the knowledge of poetry month. So go out there to your spoken word event. So there's a lot of that going on. Just a bunch of stuff
I know
happening.
there's one at Riff Raff tonight. I was actually thinking about going to. We'll
Mm.
see because it's Friday. Friday's usually my day. I want to see the Kiki Palmer movie that just came out. It's on Netflix now. What's it
What
called?
one is
Just
that?
one of the days.
Oh,
Is
I
it?
saw that one.
I
I
know
saw
you.
it in the theater.
Yeah, and you said it
Oh,
was
I like
really
it.
funny.
You're gonna
It's
like it.
on Netflix now.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that
Yeah,
that's probably
movie night in the backyard or inside.
no, definitely inside. We're not ready for outside yet. Got to get a little warmer because what is it probably be about what 60 tonight, maybe in the 50s, but it's supposed to rain all weekend.
Ugh.
So I have some indoor projects I'm gonna take care of. I do need to be outside hitting my yard though.
Yeah, we have a baby shower this weekend, so I'm looking forward
Mhm.
to that. We're at the phase now where it's like the nieces and nephews are having the babies, and so
Mhm.
now it's my husband's cousin's son and his wife, their
Mhm.
baby shower. So I'm like, we got to get.
First baby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just got married, and that's the first baby.
Yeah. I know. We don't have any babies right now. My family, no babies.
Yeah, we have a lot.
Toddlers, but no
Yeah,
babies.
we have toddlers right now. We don't have any. I think the youngest one's a year. So
Mhm.
I just I because I'm like this. I sent overnight. I sent a DJ table to the 1-year-old niece.
A DJ table,
Yeah,
like that.
it's a not Fisher Price. Is it Fisher Price? It's like one of those. It's like a
Uh-huh.
kid's
I think I
DJ.
saw that years ago. That is so
Crazy.
funny.
So shout outs to Measy, my little niece. I sent her
Uh-huh.
one because I gave my other niece one, Araya. She got one for Christmas. So
Mhm.
I was showing my other niece the videos of the babies because there's like a whole bunch of babies on Instagram DJing
Uh-huh.
and their little things. She goes,
That's
"Oh,
so
Measy would love that." I was like, "I got you,
funny.
Auntie, got you." I was like, "Oh, it's at your front door right now." This was last night. I called her. I was like, "Okay, it'll be there tomorrow morning between 8 and 10."
That was quick. How'd you get it so fast?
I'm not even gonna name the big box store that I ordered it from, but I do have a subscription with them.
Oh, girl.
So they do delivery, and because they
Gotcha.
had it in a store near them, they were able to deliver it at 8:30 this morning.
That
And
is
she
so
already sent me a video of Nizi. So I said, "Well, next stop Ibiza."
that's so funny. That's so cute. I know. I think I've seen like one or two, but it's like a Fisher Price thing or
Yeah,
something.
it's like a Fisher
Yeah.
Price thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it has like the 1 and 2,
Uh-huh.
and it has like the beat maker. And
Mhm.
when I tell you by 9 o'clock, she had it set up and I was like, okay,
That's so funny. I'm good for her because at 9 o'clock and I'm hearing that, I'm like,
Auntie don't send doll babies anymore.
huh?
I don't send doll babies anymore. We're gonna get you some skills that you can make a living.
Too
You know
funny.
what's crazy? I saw a kid's playset the other day and it's a work from home playset. I was like, that is so depressing.
Oh, what?
It's a
Yeah,
laptop, it's like a cup of coffee.
no.
I'm like, this is almost as bad as the baby dolls in the kitchen. I'm like, so we went from just total misogyny and sexism to now we're gonna make you a worker bee from the time you're able to like
It work at
stand up
home.
and walk. I was like, I'm not buying anybody's kid this work from home playset. This is messed up.
Mm-mm. No, no, I want better for
But
you.
it was funny to me. I was like, my mind was blown
You
that
have to send me that picture. I have to see that.
I will send it to you and I'll try to remember to post it
That
on my
just sounds like
socials
a
too, because
mess.
I'm like not the work from home playset.
All right. So anything else?
I got nothing.
I just have one thing. And this is I just finished
It's
this
your
book.
podcast, sis. You can do whatever you want.
One thing. I just finished this book, and you know I don't like book on audio.
Mm,
And this was on audio. And when
okay.
I say it was fabulous, I sent it to you guys in the group chat. It's a fiction tale of Hattie McDaniel.
Oh,
And it was called the Queen of Sugar Hill because they named an area in Hollywood, California after Harlem Sugar Hill because that's
yes. I
where
remember you
so
posting.
I did so it was fictional, but then there was a lot of historical stuff in it. And it was probably the best audio version of a book that I've ever listened to. I was going to say read that I've ever listened to. I absolutely loved it. I'm just
Okay.
saying for any of you guys that like audiobooks or it gave a very old Hollywood tale of it. And I had no idea that her and Clark Gable and Betty Davis were like really good friends.
But that's just the history they don't want you to know. They don't want you to know Marilyn Monroe had black friends. They don't want you to know like there were
Mhm.
other friend cohorts besides the Rat Pack.
And
Like
fought for them to have rights and you know what it was really good.
as
I think her
problematic
name
as
was
Hugh Hefner is, he had a lot of black friends and he actually did quite a bit for the civil rights movement.
yep, I did read that. I did read that. What then I'm trying to think of the author. Let me get her
Rashonda Tate.
Rachonda Tate. I knew it was Rashonda.
Oh, I
She
just
did a
pulled it
really
up now.
fabulous job. Oh, you looked at
I'm not good like that. I did have to pull it up, but I got it from your
it
post.
was the audio was so good and you can get it right off of Libby because I got it off the Libby app.
Yeah.
So you don't have to go and buy it and you don't have to download, audio books or whatever. You can just download it for free and listen to it. It was really good listen.
Yeah, and you can go on Spotify too. So that's one thing that I
Oh yeah,
learned
yeah.
from last month is that if depending on your Spotify subscription, not that I'm plugging them or anything like that, because they still
Hmm.
run Joe
But
Rogan's
why not? Because we
bullshit podcast. Oh,
uh,
but hi. Sorry. Love you guys at Spotify. Thanks for letting us run our podcast in there. We love you.
mhm.
Um, but they also do offer the opportunity to have a certain, I think it's 15 hours of listening per month.
And I think that book was like 14, 15. No, it was 15 hours. I was like, God damn. It was
So
long. It was long.
So pro tip, speed it up. Put it on 1.2 or 1.5 times, depending on how your ears work. I
Mhm.
if
I know you
someone
said that before.
if someone's talking too slow, especially if it's like a southern drawl, I gotta
Mhm,
speed it
mhm,
up. And that's
mhm,
just the northerner in me. I cannot sit there while you
mhm,
drag out all these words. Like, come on, let's get it popping. Especially if
mhm.
it's the day before book club and I ain't finished the book, you
I know
definitely
I got
want
to get your
1.5.
book. So
Yeah,
did your book just get released?
it just came out in March.
Yeah, because that's why I can't find it nowhere free. So I gotta buy it.
Spotify?
Okay, I could try it
I
on
don't know. You can
Spotify.
try. I'll look.
Mhm,
I'm sorry.
mhm. I was like, God damn it. But
Maybe I can give you one of my credits on Audible because I have an Audible credit that I haven't used.
mhm. We'll see. We'll see. because it looks like it looks really
I
good.
don't
And I
play.
like that writer. She's excellent.
I don't play about Bernice L. McFadden. Okay,
I know you don't because didn't you do two other books from her in the
I
book club?
did at least one. We've
Hmm.
read we read the it's the coldest December or the warmest December. Oh, see now I'm about to get to lying. Um, we read one of those,
Hmm.
and I picked Book of Harlan, which I
Book of Harlem is
love.
absolutely fabulous.
Her ability to weave in like historical events.
Yes.
Oh my
Hmm.
God,
And
love.
that's the same with the Queen of Sugar Hill. She did a lot of like historical moments. And then I even listened to her afterwards explain, what was fictionalized and what was real.
Yeah.
So it was really
The
good.
Warmest December. That's the
Well, it's
first book
December.
I ever read that she
I don't
wrote.
think I read that.
Oh my God. You
I
got
don't think
to
I
read
read
it.
that one.
You gotta read it. I don't know. We definitely read that for book club, and she's not an author that I have been familiar with before that.
Hmm.
But when I, it, it just the
And she
heartstrings.
showed up for book club, right? Didn't you invite her?
Yes,
And she
she
was,
did.
yeah.
She showed up for our book club, and it was fantastic. Um, she's she's just amazing. She's an amazing woman, a professor, an author. Just
Mhm.
she's dope. Bernice L.
So
McFadden.
Rose, if you're looking for a book for your book club, we just gave you two.
And shout out to my Bajans. She's half Barbadian.
Who? Bernice
Yeah,
McFadden.
yeah.
Okay.
She
Okay.
has roots in the American South and in the Caribbean.
Okay. Yes,
Yep.
excellent
And
writer.
she touches on that in this new book, which is called First. I keep saying Firstborn Daughters. It's Firstborn Girls,
Okay.
and she
Hmm.
she touches on that in this book, the experience of being the first born girl in your
Hmm.
family and how that legacy
Yeah.
will go down throughout her family.
So okay, so it's a memoir.
It is.
All right. All right. So we gave you two good books to read at the end of the podcast
Mhm.
or
Black
listen to,
female,
whatever you pick your preference.
black female written books.
Hmm. All right. So that is it on my end.
And you know where to find us.
Yeah. Well, not on TikTok,
Not on TikTok, on
but on.
Instagram, on Facebook at Little State Big Voices, anywhere podcasts are heard, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, where you can watch the video of Shahida and I gabbing and me fixing my bra on this particular episode. I might have flashed y'all
I
two
did
or
not
three times.
notice, so.
Well, you
So
gotta watch the whole episode to see where I flashed.
ew, funny. All right. Well, until next time, have a great
Until
week.
then.
Peace out.